And really, first of all, just a big thank you to UN Habitat. So UN Habitat and World Habitat, separate organizations, but we do partner on the awards, and we have done for, well, getting on for 40 years. There's the executive director of UN Habitat is one of the final judges on the awards, as is Leilani Farha, the executive director of the Shift. And we're going to hear from both UN Habitat and Leilani in this short video.
Ladies and gentlemen, friends and colleagues, welcome and congratulations to all the awardees and the members of the World Habitat Awards Network. The World Habitat Awards, in partnership with World Habitat, have been inspiring, creative and innovative housing solutions since their establishment in 1985. Today we gather to honor the legacy of these awards and to celebrate the champions that are transforming global housing challenges into opportunities for positive change.
I'm Leilani Farha, the Global Director of The Shift, an international human rights organization focused on housing. And I'm also one of the judges for the World Habitat Awards. It is a distinct pleasure to act in that capacity because I get exposed to some of the most cutting-edge, interesting, forward-looking housing projects and programs. I wanted to send a huge congratulations to the 2024 winners. The work that you're doing is so important in realizing the right to housing for those most in need. And we all know that housing is so fundamental to human well-being. So again, a huge congratulations to all of you for the important work that you're doing.
So hopefully that gives you a flavor of some of the projects you're going to be hearing about in the next few minutes. And I just wanted to sort of reflect really what both Raf and Leilani were saying, is that these projects are dealing with some of the most important social problems that the world faces at the moment. They may not be the projects which are sort of making the headlines in the news internationally, but in terms of their effect on people and the potential to solve these huge global problems that we face, I think these things are really significant, and their effect on the people who are housed in these projects, I think, can hardly be overstated.
Thank you very much, David. My name is Regina Opondo. I'm based in Nairobi, Kenya. I'm working with the Kounkuey Design Initiative, and I'm joined by my comrade, Dr. Ndezi, who is the director of the Center for Community Initiatives in Dar es Salaam. So I'll just dive quickly into talking about DARAJA, which is the Developing Risk Awareness Through Joint Action Project. But the acronym conveniently also spells DARAJA, which in Kiswahili means a bridge. So bridging the gap between climate information and underserved communities. Next. So these were the partners that implemented the project. It was not just ourselves. KDI is a nonprofit design and community development organization working with communities to advance equity and activate their unrealized potential. Our sister organization in Dar es Salaam, CCI, is the national support system for formed by Tanzanians with their desire to provide technical and financial assistance to communities living in informal settlements in Tanzania. And then Resurgence has a history of empowering communities and residents to make life-protecting decisions through weather and climate science and inclusive early warning systems. And of course, we all worked with meteorological departments from the UK, Kenya, and Tanzania with financial support from UK Aid and WISER. Next, please. So the housing issues in our country, we were looking at informal settlements, both countries, recognizing they are both that informal settlements are already underserved, they lack infrastructure and services, and therefore the impacts of climate change in informal settlements can be catastrophic. However, information can reduce the scale of the impact, just equipping the communities to be more prepared and proactive in how they can respond to that. But low trust in climate and early warning information originating from weather services and government agencies meant that people were not using this information, and they were thus getting further marginalized. Maybe Tim could say one sentence about Dar es Salaam before we move to the next slide.
Regina, Regina, sorry, can I ask you just to speak a little bit more slowly so that the interpreters can keep up? Thank you.
Okay. No problem. Okay, Tim, go ahead.
Yeah. Greetings to all from Tanzania. My name is Ndezi. I work for the Center for Community Initiatives organization based in Dar es Salaam. We work and support community living in informal settlements, the urban poor, and particularly in terms of housing. Most of the people living in informal settlements, they live in areas which are very, very bad in terms of the infrastructure, even the land aspect. So what DARAJA has been able to do is to improve the weather and climate information to the people living in the informal settlement in order to improve their existing houses, as well as also improving future land areas where many people they really want actually to relocate, because they really feel that areas which they live is not really very suitable for their life. Thank you.
Thank you. Next, please. So we wanted to bring weather and climate information to these communities, not just them, but to city authorities, planners, and responders in Nairobi and Dar es Salaam, with the aim of improving access to and enhancing its use. So building a bridge between forecasters and these communities so that they can be more resilient, better prepared, and take adaptive measures. So bringing people together, using information, research, and data, and then together with these communities, co-designing a system that works for both the duty bearers, but also the consumers of the information. Next slide, please. So in Nairobi, we did several things. We worked with community leaders who we call Weather Mtaani. Weather Mtaani means weather in the neighborhood. Connecting them to the Meteorological Institute. They got training and got to understand the information, and they were thus able to translate it and inform their communities and organize activities like cleanups, drainage, cleaning, warning people that there'll be rain so that they prepare themselves, move up ground, and that sort of thing. But also working with community radio, community media. Information is shared through SMSs, WhatsApp, word of mouth, etc. Tim could share a little bit about what they did in Dar es Salaam. Is Tim there? Okay, since time is ticking, maybe Tim can expound more in the breakout room. Next, please. So the impact of the work that we did was improved access and use of weather and climate information by these communities living in informal neighborhoods, both in Nairobi and Dar es Salaam, reduced damage and loss of household assets due to improved access and increased use of this information. In fact, even deaths and fatalities have gone down to a small extent in the areas that we piloted the project. Strengthened community cohesion. Through the Weather Mtaani leaders, they're able to mobilize, organize their communities, but people also come out more often to help each other when they anticipate that there'll be a climate event that will affect them, including reaching out to the schools in the area, making sure that children are safe, and working with the local authorities. And then we've had an opportunity to scale up DARAJA to other regions. So DARAJA is also going beyond Tanzania and Kenya into Ethiopia, Uganda, and other areas. So that's also part of the impact. Next, please. So as I conclude, looking forward, I've talked about scaling, but part of the scaling is also regional learning exchanges are ongoing. So DARAJA, the bridge, doesn't just bridge those communities, but is bridging countries, regions, and various practitioners. With some support from the Lloyd's Register Foundation. We're also going to be doing a scale up and additional work in Nairobi and supporting part of this expansion that I've talked about. Thank you very much. If Tim is still there, then he can say one or two things about Dar es Salaam, if we have time.
Thank you, Regina. I think, is Tim, are you there?
Yes.
No. Okay. Well,
Yes,
thank you
yes,
both.
I'm aware.
That was really insightful and really interesting to hear. And I just think there's an increasing number of submissions to the World Habitat Awards. The last couple of years have been about climate adaptation, and I think what you've just illustrated there is how many lives can be saved and how technology can make such a huge difference. So so thank you. That's fantastic. Really interested to hear from you.